Welcome to the House That STEM Built, a regular series where we will explore the science, technology, engineering, and math that goes into the design and construction of this family home. This is the House That STEM Built.
In this video, we will be exploring area and its applications to building a house. This will touch on the Grade 7 specific outcome, SS2, which says to develop and apply a formula for determining the area of triangles and parallelograms.
So area is the space occupied by a 2D object. Let's first consider a rectangle. Conventionally, the sides of a rectangle are labeled length and width. To find the space occupied by this rectangle, we multiply the values of the length dimension and the width dimension. This result gives us the area of the rectangle. Similarly, we can find the area of other two-dimensional shapes.
If we consider our diagram of a rectangle again, we can use this to help us calculate the area of a right-angled triangle. Looking at the rectangle, if we draw a line connecting opposite corners, we will see that we have split our rectangle into two right-angled triangles.
Dividing our rectangle in half, specifically into two right-angled triangles, we know that the area of each of these triangles will be half of the area we determined for the rectangle. Therefore, the formula for the area of a triangle would be 1/2 of the length multiplied by the width.
Now that we know our formulas for determining the area of a rectangle or triangle shape, we can examine where builders use area in the construction process of building a house.
First, let's try and think of a few applications where we would see the use of area in the construction process. Today we are going to examine how and why we calculate the area in the following aspects of building a house: roofing a house, constructing a deck, and installing drywall. So let's examine the roofing of a house and determine if and why roofers would need to calculate the area. So once the sheathing in the membrane is on the roof, it is then time to put the shingles on to protect the house from water. In other words, seal the house from the weather. As a roofer, you would want to be conservative in your spending, therefore only purchasing the amount of shingles required for the house. To determine the number of shingles required, the roofers would have to determine the area of the roof that needs to be shingled. Depending on the house, roofers may need to calculate the area of various shapes, summing these individual areas to determine the total area of the roof.
Next, we can look at the construction of a deck. The framing needs to be constructed before the deck boards can be set down. When determining the area of a deck that needs to be covered with deck boards, we complete the same process as we did for roofing to get the total area of the deck board.
Another place where builders need to calculate the area is while installing drywall. Drywall installation happens after the walls have been framed up and before the crack filling and painting takes place. While determining how much drywall is required for a house, the person installing the drywall must determine the area of the rectangle walls by multiplying both the length and the width measurements together. However, if this was our final calculation, then we would have calculated an area value that is too large because we don't want to cover the area of the windows and the doors with drywall. Therefore, we must subtract the area of the windows and doors to get a total value for the area of the drywall required.
For example, if we wanted to determine the area of this wall, we would begin by determining the width, also known as the base, and the length, also known as the height of the wall, and calculate the total area of the wall as if there were no window. This wall is 8 feet high and the width of the room is 12 feet wide. Therefore, the total area of the wall would be 96 square feet. Next, we would need to calculate the area of the window by completing the same process. Find the height and width of the window and multiply them together. The height of the window measures 5 feet and the width of it measures 6 feet, so the total area of the window would be 30 square feet. Completing the process of determining the total area of the drywall required, we then need to take the total area of the wall and subtract the area of the window. This gives us a total area of 66 square feet.
Now you know not only how to calculate the area of a surface, but also where in the construction process you would need to know how to calculate the area to economically build a house. We investigated how to calculate the area to determine how many bundles of shingles are required to roof a house, to determine how many deck boards are required to finish a deck, and determine how many pieces of drywall are required for a given wall. We got the chance to see how math is incorporated into real-life examples, and more specifically, how home builders use area formulas in their everyday jobs.
But these are not the only places that we use area calculations for the construction of a home. Can you think of any other places in the construction process that we may need to determine the area to efficiently build a house? For a continuation on area calculations, be sure to watch our next video. But that's all for today. Thanks for watching the House That STEM Built Area Part 1.